When you study a world language, it's important to pay attention to the different parts of a language. In this video, we're going to talk about vocabulary. Each world language has its own set of vocabulary. Vocabulary refers to all the words and expressions used in a language. Some world languages, like English, Spanish, and French, come from the same part of the world, and as a result, they have related words. In French, these are called les mots apparentés. In English, they're called cognates. Cognates are words with similar spellings and the same meaning in two languages. They are easy to understand in the written language. Take these words, for example. Accelerate, accélérer. Activity, activité. Adult, adulte. Biography, biographie. Ceramic, céramique. Circle, cercle. December, décembre. Disaster, désastre. Energy, énergie. Languages like English and French also have what we call false cognates, les faux amis. False cognates are words with similar spellings but different meanings. These are tricky. Consider these examples. Chair, which in French is actually a chaise, and chair, which in French means flesh. Attend, which in French translates as assister, and attendre, which means to wait in French. Bless, which in French is bénir, and blesser, which means in French to injure somebody. A cave in French is une grotte, whereas a cave in French is a cellar or a root cellar. So pay careful attention to false cognates, les faux amis. Often languages simply have completely different words for the same thing, and all of this new vocabulary has to be learned. So take, for example, in English, we say window, but in French, fenêtre. In English, wall, but in French, mur. In English, to run. In French, courir. In English, to speak, but in French, parler. The last important detail to pay attention to when you study the vocabulary of a language is that speakers of another language sometimes look at the world from a different point of view, and this can be seen in the words and expressions they use. So if you look at this image here, in one image, you're looking at the daisy from the side, and in the other one, you're looking at it from the bottom. In both cases, you're looking at the same thing, but from a different perspective. And this happens a lot in languages. Let's look at some examples. So in English, we use the expression an electric outlet because it allows the electricity to come out. In French, they call that same thing une prise. And in their perspective, it's where you take electricity. In English, we have the question, what is your name? But in French, that becomes comment tu t'appelles? which translates literally as how you yourself call. In English, we have the expression easy as pie. An equivalent expression in French is simple comme bonjour, easy as hello. In English, we talk about goosebumps, and in French, that's called chair de poule, or skin of chicken, chicken skin. In English, we talk about a DVD player, and in French, that same device is called un lecteur DVD, where lecteur means a reader. So when you study a new language, pay attention to cognates, the words with similar spellings and the same meanings. Pay attention to false cognates, which are words with similar spellings but different meaning, and these ones are tricky. You want to find effective ways to remember the new words that you are studying, and most importantly, expect that some words and expressions are going to have different perspectives. And do, in fact, appreciate that when you are learning another language and you learn these new perspectives, these new ways of thinking, that you are broadening your horizons. So now, if you will take out your paper, you can discuss these review questions.